All right, you are live.
All right, being that it's over 5 p.m., we're going to get the meeting started. The first thing, we need approval for the minutes for October 11th, 2021 meeting.
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Moving on. Item number 0845-21, communication per section 22-1286 for the feedback report on the commercial electric scooters and licenses. The staff recommendation is to renew the pilot commercial electric scooter license for another year, ending in 2022, with a report due to determine the impact of the private scooter share program to the Common Council in December of 2022, and expanding the cap of 200 scooters available per license. So first thing, I guess, we'll let Trevor, he's the one heading this thing, we'll let him say what he has to say first.
Hello, Mr. Chair. Hello, council members. What I want to do now is go through the report that was provided to you in the agenda, go through the numbers, and have a conversation with you generally about the impact of the program and what we see moving forward as concerns and how we address those. And I'm sure we'll be hearing from those who are attending the meeting as well. So as Alder Coe rightfully pointed out, we're coming to you today with this report and with 131 days of data that have resulted in a recommendation to continue the program. As we see, the pilot started on June 3rd and then moved forward until October 11th, with total rides being 1,021 rides total. The average rides per day were 87 rides. So every day you're riding down the street, on average, 87 individual rides were taken. In terms of unique users, there are 2,697 unique users in the region who have used Bird scooters in the city of Racine, with an average trip of 2.3 miles. An interesting and fun fact is that in terms of all of the miles traveled, that would be 25,345 total miles. That's larger than the circumference of planet Earth. So Racinians have zipped around on these electric scooters more often than the size of the planet, which I think is pretty interesting. Average miles per day are about 200 miles, with a ride duration being about 24 minutes. Something that is of value to the city of Racine, as we've signed on to the Paris Climate Accord, is the environmental impact of a program like this. And our metric tons saved of CO2 add up to about 5.4 metric tons saved. Now, the way that that was calculated is if those trips were taken in a fuel burning vehicle, that would have saved that amount of CO2 entering the atmosphere. And the reason that that's relevant is because you have over 250 people at 268 regular commuters, to be exact, who actually take this form of transportation either to school, to work, or to a place of regular connection for them. And the way that they calculate commuter ridership is if their unique profile and ID associated with their profile on the Bird application has a ride in a certain part of the day and at the end of that day, or vice versa. And so they're able to look at that pattern to see when are folks jumping on, when are folks jumping off for those unique profiles. And they're able to measure that we have about 268 folks who use this form of transportation as a means of getting to where they need to go. That's of utility. Average number of deployed scooters. Now, this is interesting. So as you know, on the council, you approved 100 scooters to be utilized in this pilot program. On average, there are about 45 to 50 scooters that are available in the public right of way, which means those, other 50 or 55 scooters are being charged, they're being fixed, they're being maintained, and so they're not available for folks in the community to be able to utilize. And so on an average day, what you'll see is just about 45 to 50 scooters available. Moving on to monthly ridership, it makes sense and it is no surprise that the warmer the weather, the more popular these scooters are. So in June, we saw over 5,000 rides, which is when they were brand new. In July, we saw about 3.3 thousand. In August, we saw about 1,000, and then in September, we saw about 1.1 thousand. In August, there were significant impacts due to the availability of scooters that were available, in the public right of way, due to maintenance, charging, et cetera. Now, this is an interesting data set because you can interpret this in a couple ways. The way I would interpret it based on the time of the year in which these rides took place and where the rides took place, that these rides were leisurely, based on the weekends, and from Sam Myers Park to the south to the Racine Zoo to the north. So that might be rides downtown, rides around the Gateway campus, rides in our park, around our park district on Main Street, and then going north to a destination that might have been the zoo or Zoo Beach or North Beach. And so knowing that these are popular tools for the weekend and that they were utilized in the summer months, we can see a direct connection between folks utilizing the assets that make our community special and being able to get there and enjoy them through this program. Something that is of serious concern to this committee, being the Public Safety and Licensing Committee, is our injuries and crash data. So according to data provided by the company, there were 4 self-reported incidents, one of which resulted in an individual needing medical attention. Now, for there being over 11,000 unique rides, 4 instances that were reported seem to be a relatively low number. Now, something else that was of a concern from folks on the council and members of the general public who I've heard from is the age of the individuals utilizing the scooters. I heard from multiple folks right at the beginning of this program that they saw minors, underage individuals who were taking the scooters and not abiding by traffic rules and putting themselves in harm's way. And due to the clerk's office reaching out after the first week of these scooters being available in the city of Racine from June 3rd to June 11th, she reached out to the Bird Company, making sure that they used photo identification and age verification for folks using the application, which dramatically cut down on the amount of young people taking advantage of the scooter share program and preventing injury, which we saw from the injury and crash data. And so from an economic development perspective, this being another form of transportation available for residents is an asset. When you have a multimodal transportation system where there are options for folks to be able to take the bus, take their individual car, use this scooter, take their bicycle, that is an asset to the community in terms of folks being able to have the quality of life that they hope for in the city. From a tourist perspective, we saw where exactly these rides were, and we saw that they were at places of leisurely interest and destinations for consumers. And so in order to support our downtown district and make sure that people have a form of transportation that can utilize these destinations that we're proud of and Racine, that is of value. From an environmental impact, we've already heard about the amount of CO2 saved, and from a safety impact, I believe the company is very flexible in terms of working with the city of Racine on how we can make sure that folks utilize this program in the safest way possible. And so I want to allow there to be public comment and questions from the committee.
First, I guess I would like to hear from the police department before the alders start weighing in. So if Jesse could speak to this.
Hi all. I'm here for a different topic, so I don't have any data on that. I'll have Sergeant Ortiz, our liaison to the PSNL, respond to you guys.
Okay.
Rob, you here? I think he's having issues with his mic and his.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
I have not myself heard of any issues with it, other than maybe right in the beginning, but I don't, I'm not involved with the patrol division anymore, so I really can't give you
well,
a response.
all right. I guess I would ask Alder Peterson to speak first on this. He had some interesting stuff to add to this, and then everyone else can weigh in. So, Jeff?
Yes, thank you for your presentation there, Mr. Jung. I hope the new position is treating you well. A couple issues, I guess. Well, I think the daily rider thing is kind of skewed because you had the uniqueness of the June rides, regardless of what the daily rider number is. I have an issue with the CO2 friendly aspect of these things. I don't know if you got I sent you a link. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it or not, but I'll give a quick, I'll read one paragraph of the article. It says, today the main study analyzing these different phases of electric scooters is one published by North Carolina State University. According to the scientists who conducted it, electric scooters are not eco-friendly means of transportation today. In regards to carbon footprint, scooters emit 200 grams of CO2 per kilometer per passenger car the entire life cycle. It's about as much as a conventional car and 3 times more than an electrical car. So there's more to this article. I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing, but I see it as the scooters as more of a joyride, fun thing downtown. I'm not against scooters per se, but I am against saying that they're eco-friendly when I don't believe they are. When you talk about, what was it, number of riders that use them to and from work or school, I'm guessing most of those are probably school kids. So they're probably, that's probably a form of either taking a bike or walking. So those numbers can be skewed. So, I mean, if you have not gotten that article, I can give you that, or there's a number of articles out there. I'm assuming did you get that data from Bird? Where did you get that data from?
That is correct.
Yeah, so they're obviously selling the product. They want to make it sound eco-friendly. The process of making these things is industrial. There's a heavy industrial process. There's vehicles going around, picking them up, deploying them, charging them. So like I said, I don't have a problem with the scooters per se, but trying to sell them as eco-friendly, I think that that's not totally factual. I can't say that I am for increasing the numbers as I see so many of them laying around the inner city. As I drive to and from Washington Park on a daily basis, I see them all over the place. I see them, I mean, that's my route, so that's where I see them. I see them downtown and I see them elsewhere, but I see them on Washington Avenue laying on the street. I see them 12th Street laying on the street. So to me, it becomes kind of an eyesore when they're laying all over the place. So I don't have a problem with keeping 100. I do have a problem with giving a larger number. Maybe if you could concentrate that 100 down towards the entertainment district, so to speak, which I thought was kind of the target. Maybe that would alleviate any issues of lack of vehicles. That's about it. Thank you.
All right. And so I had problems with these right out of the gate with underage kids, but now I'm finding out, I talked to some people today, Trevor. So you got people, they have to show an ID and they're renting these things out. Well, some people are renting these multiple scooters out and kids are still riding them. Right now, if you someplace on Facebook, my daughter found it, they don't have enough people to pick these things up. They're looking for people to hire people. And right now, someone's been sitting in front of my daughter's house for about 4 days now. And I mean, and they're laying on the street. People pick them up. People walk by, they kick them over. These things are not being picked up. And it just looks like, go down Washington Avenue, it looks like a junk field going on. I mean, I think these things to me are a bust, but some people seem to like them. But I mean, under no circumstances, I mean, am I willing to expand this until they get this problem solved of other things? And we get another year under our belt if we're gonna continue this. But right at this point, I don't support these things at all. So anyone else want to speak on the item? Alder Caprillion.
Thank you. When these first got unveiled and out on the street, I did get some constituent calls, and they were really upset that they were in front of their home. And so I spent the time trying to help encourage them to change their perspective. This is something new. And so they're not trash. So I know we are seeing them scattered about. And I think there's this transitional period. I would have a problem with them just being in one area, because I believe we have such a diverse community. And it's not always, let's say, are maybe a little bit more impoverished part of the community that are frequenting downtown. So I really would like to make sure that our whole city has access to these scooters. And I don't see the harm in extending this a year through our learning period. We are learning, and I think it's going to take some time to adapt to this and to find better practices. And right now, yes, we are seeing a lot of them abandoned, and maybe some that are broken abandoned. And so my question to you is, which would help, and I thought I had heard this at the beginning, but you can fill me in, correct me. What about docking stations? You know, sometimes if they're scattered about, you know, that can give a bad impression to those going by, like Alder Peterson said. But if we had more docking stations, or a docking station around, you know, they can not only dock but possibly charge, and they would have a home, just like in our own house. What's the saying? A place for everything and everything in its place. Would you be able to speak about docking stations?
Alder Caprillion, thank you for that question. In conversations that we've had with Bird Scooters that have gone beyond just the traditional scooter program, we've also discussed bike share, which would involve docking stations. But I would have to defer that question to representatives from Bird to talk about scooter docking infrastructure.
Chairman, may I continue?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So in regards to the number and the time, it's 1 year. Again, we are in a learning period. I know change is sometimes difficult for some, and to adapt to new ways and new things to our community may take some time. And I don't think that we've given this enough time to find the best practice. So if they are looking for people to be able to scoop up these scooters, you know, I think that's a good sign, because it's responding to what I think Alder Peterson mentioned, is that we're seeing these about, or Alder Coe is mentioning about, they're sitting for longer periods of time. The one gentleman who was in charge of doing it, I don't know if he's still involved, a wonderful individual, has responded kindly, and I've sent some constituents his way to talk to him, and he has been able to settle or respond. But again, I believe he was only one man doing it, and he didn't, you know, I mean, this is a new thing. There is a learning period, and I think and maybe after 1 year we find just, you know, this is continuing. We didn't adapt, we didn't change. This wasn't a positive addition, we can say, maybe to our community, and then we can go ahead and squash it. But I think we really need to give this a fair chance, and I'm okay with increasing it to have only 40 some out, because half of them, the fleet was down because of whatever issue charging. I think that speaks to the number of people able to pick those up. So if they can get more people staffed, you know, hopefully our community can utilize them a little bit better. That was it. Thank you kindly.
Okay, and anyone else? Oh, Alderman Horton, go ahead.
I think, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think Sergeant Ortiz's hand was up before mine, then I'll
Oh,
follow
I'm
up after
sorry,
him.
I see that now.
That's
All right,
okay.
Sergeant Ortiz?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. The only question I had was, how is this company tracking the actual accidents?
Trevor, can you answer that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We do have representatives from the Bird Corporation in the attendee list. we've got Adam Blah and Michael Cavedo, who would be available to answer those questions about company practices.
All right, if we could get one of them on, it would be appreciated.
And Mr. Chair, may I add upon something that Alder Caprillion mentioned about there being somebody locally who is providing a service of picking up the scooters?
Sure.
The Bird Corporation is proud of the fact that the majority of the dollars that are spent in Racine stay in Racine through hiring and maintaining the system. And so the majority of dollars spent stay in Racine, which I think is of interest.
Okay. So who would like to speak on this, Adam or Michael?
Good evening, Alder Co. This is Michael Cavato. I'm with the Revenue Partnerships team at Bird. Would love to have Mr. Blau also unmuted, as he is our data expert and can certainly provide some additional color to anything that I might mention.
All right,
I'm
go
here as
ahead.
well.
Perfect. I would love to address the questions and the concerns that were raised, hopefully in the order in which they were done so. Alder Peterson, I think you did raise a very good point in terms of the CO2 emissions and the like. The study that you're referring to does take into account a very antiquated operational model that we have not used for the last several years. It also takes into account the manufacture of the lithium-ion battery, as well as the actual chassis of the scooter and transportation of those products from China to the United States. When it is considering the carbon emissions, those kinds of carbon emissions are not often taken into account when you are discussing those emitted by vehicles. Even with that being said, scooters do emit about half as much CO2 as a regular automobile trip. When you take into account the evolution of some of the supply chain that we have developed, as well as some of the updated operational models, it can be even more sophisticated, although we still use some of our older methodologies in terms of actually calculating those emissions. It is not a perfect system, certainly I admit. But in terms of the actual eco-friendliness, there is certainly an argument towards these being an excellent supplement or alternative to using an automobile, a traditional automobile. Of course, as we continue to develop and as new modalities become available, certainly there will be even further improvements. Alder Co. You did raise the point in terms of individuals not using them or them not being abandoned. As Mr. Young was, Jung, forgive me, was very keen to indicate, we actually do partner with local members of the community. To be clear, this is not a gig economy, as may have been suggested. What we do is we partner with local individuals. These are small business owners. These are entrepreneurs who go out there to provide the services. Part of the KPIs, the key performance indicators that we hold them accountable to, meaning the metrics that they must adhere to, includes check-ins on these scooters, meaning that they would not be allowed to leave them abandoned without checking, were they not wishing to put their partnership with us in jeopardy. Certainly there are times when, even with a rigorous qualification process, we find people have difficulty adhering to those KPIs, at which point we do find a new fleet manager. Nonetheless, in terms of the performance of the ones that we have locally, certainly within Racine, they've been doing a good job in terms of actually adhering to the metrics that we want to ensure they hit. Every scooter does have additional contact information on it. If somebody does have a concern with it in between one of the regular check-in periods, we would welcome the community to be as involved as they wish. Certainly the onus is on us in terms of going out there and checking. That is the part of the operational protocol that we have in place. But if somebody would like something in between one of those times, we always want to make sure we are available and are readily committed to the community in order to do so. Who was next? Alder Capralian. You did mention docking stations. Certainly it's an excellent idea and something that has been explored previously. One thing I do wish to make sure that I touch on here is the true utility of these systems, of being able to get directly from point A to point B. I know the word scooter has a bit of a fun and perhaps even frivolous connotation, but what this functionally is, as Mr. Jung indicated and has been clearly demonstrated by the data, is a public transportation network. The true benefit of these systems is getting to be able to go directly from point A to point B at low cost, efficiently, quickly, sure with an element of fun. And Alder Peterson, to your point, hopefully with the reduction of some carbon emissions, as this is becoming more and more of an issue in our society today. Enabling people to get directly where they need to go with that efficiency and that reliability is where these systems truly excel. we're still in the early days of this entire industry, certainly, and there's going to be more evolution. But I think we are beyond some of the early mistakes in terms of the limitations that we imposed on them. The docking stations also raise the point around cost, as they can be a very expensive solution that further might create issues around some of the public infrastructure. What I would suggest is we have certainly other tools in our toolkit. More than happy to discuss with city staff, the administrative staff, following this meeting, how we might be able to implement some alternative solutions rather than doing something that might impact public infrastructure in a more permanent way. I believe Alder Horton, I apologize, I don't have any notes here from in terms of a question or concern. And Sergeant Ortiz, you mentioned in terms of tracking accident data, most of it is self-reported. Simply because if it is a severe accident, we do have certain protocols in place, and we do make it very easy for people to get a hold of us. We do follow up. We have a very diligent team that is responsible for those types of events that can reach out, make sure that we are communicating with everybody and getting all the appropriate data. If you are seeing something that we are not seeing, certainly I would hope that you would reach out to Mr. Blau, who is available with us here on the phone today as the city's relationship manager, to ensure that all the data is being spread across all channels.
Okay, I guess I got a question. What is the average time for these things to be picked up? I had one sitting out by my house for about 10 days. My daughter lives on Washington Avenue on a main thoroughfare, and they've been there about 4 days now. Somebody came and picked up one of them and tossed the other one off to the side. It's still sitting over there at my daughter's house. And I'm just wondering, how long do these things, and all the way up Washington Avenue, they're still on the corners where they were for the last 3-4 days?
10 days would absolutely be an anomaly. What I would suggest might be the case is somebody has then damaged the brain of that scooter, meaning the device that allows us to track its location. Certainly because that's not within our protocols. It's usually multiple times per day, but if it's in an area of high utilization or traditionally high utilization and none of the sensors within the scooter are triggered, so one of our fleet managers can leave it for up to 48 hours. However, they will be engaging in rebalancing, which is just a fancy word for moving the scooters within that kind of a time frame. If you have a particular area where you've identified these scooters have not been moving, certainly I would ask, please send that information over to city staff so that they can forward it to us and we can investigate a little bit further.
And like I said, it sounds like they don't have enough people picking these things up too, and that seems to be a problem. Maybe that's why you're having a problem getting some of these, because there was a thing on Facebook, my daughter, was that hey, we'll hire you to pick these things up and charge them.
So we do. Certainly, although we do run ads to encourage individuals to apply for our fleet manager program, it is very important for us to ensure that we have backups if one of our fleet managers is not adhering to some of the key performance indicators. It is a very small group, and it is a very highly qualified group. There is a certain level of infrastructure these individuals must bring, a certain level of capacity in terms of their mechanical ability, their entrepreneurship. They do go through multiple conversations with our fleet management group or our fleet management team to ensure that they are set up for success. If we are running the ads, then likely it is because we want to ensure that we are either keeping backups in place or looking to bring on some additional to help support the existing operations. I see this as a good thing. It means that we are diligently monitoring the data. As Mr. Jung mentioned, we're talking about 3.5 months, for example, in terms of the actual performance of the fleet. I see this as a good thing in terms of us monitoring the data and responding as necessary to ensure that we are going to be delivering on a better and better level of service.
Well, I still have apprehensions about it, but I'm one person that's willing to give it another year trial, but I don't feel really good about expanding the fleet. So I'm going to have the other alders weigh in on this and tell me what their thoughts are.
Thank you, Alder Coe.
Are we open to ask the gentleman questions, or are we going to move on to Mr. Horton? Alder Horton, sorry.
Did whoever wants to ask questions, Alder Horton, your hand was up first. You go ahead.
No, thank you, Chairman Cole. I think that with the other alders on, they kind of answered and kind of asked the same questions that I would have asked, and that was really about just picking it up. But I do want to say one positive thing here. a couple of those scooters were in my district, and there was a 866 number that you could call, and I made the call for them, and I'll say within a couple of hours those scooters were picked up. So a lady answered the phone. I just told them where they were located, and within a couple of hours they had picked them up.
Alder Peterson and then Alder Caprillion.
Yes, quick question for Mr. Cavato. Alder Jung says on a daily basis, we have about 50 available. Is this due to, what's the charge time and why, I guess I'm curious why only 50 are available on a daily basis. You would think you'd pick them all up at night, charge them and set them out in the morning. So is it a maintenance issue, a manpower issue? And what age, how old are the scooters that we have here in town?
Very good question. Let me address the first question in terms of why 50. There can be a number of factors. Each scooter has a range of approximately 30 miles. If there is no utilization, they can stand out there losing about 1% per, I apologize, the time frame is escaping me at the moment. Mr. Bluff wants to jump in to correct me. But essentially what it means is that they can typically we measure based off of the distance that the battery can travel, which is roughly 30 miles. Depending on the utilization that you are seeing on the scooters, that means that they can remain out without a charge for 1 day, 2 days, possibly even 3 days, but they will be rebalanced, meaning moved throughout those periods. The reason why you only see 50 is, as Mr. Jung indicated earlier, some of them are being recharged throughout the course of the day. We don't want to leave something that does not have or has a low battery charge out so that it creates a negative rider experience or runs the risk of dying and then being more difficult to track. It could be as a result of maintenance, or it could be that those scooters are actively being rebalanced. So as the scooter is scanned for rebalancing, meaning moving it from a location where somebody has ended their ride back to a location where it's likely to be used again, it is taken offline from the system, which will impact the average available for use by the general public. Same thing when a ride is taken. So when a ride is taken, that will also impact the general average of those that are available within the public right of way. So what that means is that essentially anything that might prevent somebody from using it would impact the average.
Thank you. Finally, how old are the scooters we have?
Yes, I apologize. I don't have the information offhand. The model is roughly 2.5 years old. These scooters themselves should be obviously a little bit newer than that. We are anticipating that our newer models of scooters will be available for Racine in 2022 should the pilot be extended. They do have a bit of a different aesthetic. I can go into a bit of detail, but I'll nerd out about scooters, and I'm sure nobody wants to hear that at this point.
Thank you very much.
Alderwoman Caprillion.
Thank you, Chairman Coe. I appreciate that Alder Horton shared a positive story, and I too would like to maybe weigh in and add in on that, and then just follow up with an ask. So I had received some calls about some scooters down by the lakefront, and I had to go down there. I did not have the number handy, so that's going to be part of my ask. And I happened just to sit down there, and within my time sitting down there, they were scooped up so right away. So I do appreciate that. It was a quick response through my calling. But the one thing I didn't have access to, and I went through and I looked through all of our correspondence through our city email, and because I was sitting at home and I actually had to drive there. I was in a position to do it on that one day, but I would love if we could be provided the contact information. It would be extremely helpful, if not just that number that's provided on the scooter, but even if we have the local individual or individuals who are picking up things. So any numbers that you could provide, or if there's a list of this type of questions should be asked to this person. And I would just love to have that at my fingertips when I receive those calls, if that's possible. And then to all of the alders, not just myself.
Absolutely, Alder Caprillion. Following this meeting, I will ensure that Adam Blau and myself send an email to everyone here so you have our direct contact information so that any specific concerns can be brought directly to us. We do want to ensure we are working very closely with city staff as well as elected officials. We also can send all of the contact information that the general public might find to be more helpful, which includes that 866 number. We also have an email address, multiple social media accounts, as well as a function that we call community mode right within our mobile application. If an individual would like to download the Bird app and never be a rider, you still have the ability to photograph scooters, scan them, and report issues directly to the local team with a geo tag to further expedite any kind of rebalancing request. It's one of the ways we want to make sure that we do connect with the community as much as possible.
I would really appreciate that. That sounds fantastic to be able to have all that information. And just to comment on Alder Coe, or Chairman Coe's concern about expanding the fleet size, I am absolutely for it. I think we really need to get a feel of this program before we squash it, we limit it. Let's just put it out there, get that full feel of it. And by this time, 1 year from now, reevaluate it, decide to squash half the fleet or to remove it altogether. But I really think we need to give, because that was just a pilot, and I remember it was just a sample size going out there. I think at this point we expand it, see where it goes for our community, and so that's my comment. Thank you.
All right, well, how much is this looking to expand it by? 100?
That is correct. So looking at what's available now, 45 to 50, if there were 200 available, you'd assume there'd be about 100 that would be available on the streets.
Right, but my concern is are we gonna find more laying around? So I'm not real supportive of this. I guess I would entertain a motion. I guess I would be more comfortable with maybe opening it up to another 50 so you can have 100 on the streets at any given time. But I'm not willing to go to that 100, I don't believe so.
So
I'll entertain a motion from somebody. Oh, Trevor, you got something?
no,
Okay.
I move for approval of this agenda item as is.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Just a comment on the motion.
Okay.
The reason why is just as we're seeing the numbers, I think we had 100 scooters out. We have half the fleet actually on the street. So I think if we, bring it up to 200, we may only see 100. So that is why I'm in support of just leaving it as is.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
And I'm no. So we don't have Henry on at all, huh?
Alder Perez is not on right now.
Okay.
This item, if we don't have another motion, we can bring it to the council floor.
All right, well, I think that's what's gonna have to happen.
Procedurally, sorry, may I?
Go ahead.
Procedurally, I believe it would be appropriate if you'd like to amend the item to 150 as a recommendation. The city attorney may chime in on that if that's appropriate this time.
Okay, that would be, I don't think we have a city, oh, yes, New is on. I see. New, you want to chime in on that?
Right, so because the motion doesn't pass, you can certainly make another motion to amend if you'd like.
I'll make
Okay,
a
well,
motion to amend it to 150.
And I would second that motion. Any comments from anybody?
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
I would like to either ask whether it's Trevor Young or somebody from the scooter company, where did the 200 number come from and why was that the number that was presented?
That is a great question, Alder. Bird, in conversation with city staff, requested 300, and we wanted to be prudent and do our due diligence in making sure that we look at the second year as another opportunity to gather more information. And so we didn't want to rush into, a pure recommendation from our partner at Bird. And so we thought that 200 was reasonable, but if 150 is recommended from the committee, that would be appropriate as well.
All right, and I guess I got a question to ask. 150, that means at any given time, there should be 100 of them out on the street at one time. Am I correct in that assumption?
If there are 150 that are on the street, there'd be about 50% of that, which would be available. So you could imagine about 75 scooters.
Okay, I guess I'd be more comfortable with that, just being that we're finding them all over. Maybe they can streamline this thing next year and we can see better results and move forward from there. So we have a motion and a second to increase it by 50. All those.
Article.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say something before you guys take the vote. And I am willing, to support the 150, but I do think what Alder Caprarian said, I was in full support of that, because if we're going to see how something runs, we got to go ahead and see if we can, let them, the 200 scooters will be out there. We would know by next year. But then the other part of it is, anytime you're doing something as a pilot, you want to, and everything that we talked about, that they are tweaking and they're going to try to make better. So even with the 150, I still would be in favor of doing that. Just some increase, but hoping that by next year, with the additional 50, that they would be able to work out some of the things that they say that they're already working on.
All right, then. Thank you much for your comments, Alderman Horton. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, you guys got your extension of 50. Hope that's good for you.
Thank you very much, Alders. I really appreciate all of your time here this evening.
All right, thank you. Next item of business, 0831-21, communication submitting an application for a Class B fermented malt beverage license, El Pueblito Mexican Restaurant LLC, doing business as El Pueblito Mexican Restaurant, located at 6116 Regency West Drive, Racine, Wisconsin, 53406. Jennifer Rios Araro, agent, 14th District. Do we have her online?
Yes, I am here.
All right, can we get the city attorney to swear her in, please?
Yes, I can do that. Ms. Rios, if you could raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
The committee is here on your application today. You will have a chance to tell the committee about your business and why you're applying for this license. After that, I will read a summary of the Good Neighbors Report, and this committee may ask questions of you. The chair will then check to see if city staff has any information to add, or if any members of the audience wishes to speak for or against the license application. Now, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to start off by saying that I really do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to review for my application of alcohol. But we are opening up my first Mexican restaurant in Racine. I am new to alcohol, so I did take a course to be able to serve alcohol. I have no experience in serving alcohol. However, I am not the only person that will be there to look over the alcohol. I do have my father and my mother and my father's brother who have experience with serving alcohol for more than 20 years, and they have been in the restaurant industry for more than 20 years as well. So I am the only one who is being able to apply and serve the alcohol as of right now, until we can get my father's serving license in motion for Racine, since he only has one for Kenosha right now. Thank you.
Can you tell us where your business, it sounds like it's out by the mall someplace, and what your hours are going to be?
Yes, it is out in address that they gave you out in the Regency. It is in a little plaza. The hours right now we are doing is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and that would be every day, Sunday through Saturday, so weekday and weekend.
Okay, and are you open? Is the restaurant open now or not yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you're waiting on all the permits and everything. And Okay, I've been looking at this. Any questions from any of the alders? Sorry, I'm reading this application at the same time. Any questions or concerns? All right, well, I guess I would entertain a motion. Oh, I got one question to ask. So you guys are, you asked for the Class B only for beer. Do you have intentions of applying for the liquor license?
I do.
Okay, and would your hours still be the same as they are right now if that were to happen?
They would be.
Okay, so okay. I'll entertain a motion from one of the committee members.
Vote to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions from anybody? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, wait a minute. Let me back up a little bit here. Could I ask the city attorney for the Good Neighbors report? I apologize.
That's no problem. So the Good Neighbors report is pretty short. It just highlights that we discussed some of the issues related to her lack of experience. As she stated, she doesn't have any experience serving alcohol, but her parents and her family have been in the restaurant business for approximately 20 years. It is worth noting that Ms. Riel stated that she would be a full-time student. She is now, and she will continue to do that even as she serves as agent. So we don't know who will be there when she is not there. I recommended to her that she have those managers available in case the committee has any questions. Other than that, because it's a new business, there's no history of calls. So that was really the only issue.
Do we have anything from their place in Kenosha at all?
I have no information on that.
Yeah. All right, then. I'm going to ask the applicant, you plan on having other people get their bartender's license, am I correct?
Correct. At least 2 more.
Yeah, because you have to have somebody on staff the whole time while you're serving alcohol. I'm sure they told you that, so. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say.
We already
Oh,
did.
I'm
All
sorry.
right, we already did it.
Sorry, now I'm going backwards. All right. It's been granted. Thank you very much, and
Chairman
good luck.
Cole, Chairman
Yes.
Cole, I'm gonna take your pen away from you really
I'm
soon.
sorry. All right, I apologize. We got a lot of stuff going on right now. So, all right, thank you much. Moving on. Item 079821, communications, submitting a renewal application for 2021-2022 motor vehicle towing license, Racine Recovery LLC, doing business as Racine Recovery, located at 5336 Douglas Avenue, 4th District. I did get a call from the guy out there that had something that came up. He was going to get online to call in, but he had something come up, couldn't do it. And from my understanding, the police department was supposed to go and speak with them, and they haven't done that. So because of the hour and we got a meeting coming up, I would like to defer this item for 2 weeks to get this so the applicant can come online with us also. So I would entertain a motion to that effect.
Move to defer.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All
No,
those in
but-
favor?
Anybody from
Pardon?
PD have anything to say?
Okay.
Hi, sure. In the last 2 weeks, no one has gone out to speak with him that I'm aware of. However, traffic investigator Ditchite has spoken with him at least 3 times this year, twice with the manager at Finishing Touch, and then once with John at Racine Recovery as well. And he handles most of this.
Okay, because from what I was understood that the police department was going out there, I got a call last week that they were going there to talk to him. And when I talked to him, he said they hadn't stopped out there. So I would just like to get this deferred.
Sure, I just wanted to make sure that you knew we hadn't not spoken to them at all.
All right, then. Thank you very much. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? All right, moving on. last item of business, 081221, communication on behalf of the City of Racine Police Department Liaison of the Police Safety and Licensing Committee, requesting the consideration of the licensed premise report for 10/25/2021 and any formal expressions of concern pursuant to it. Sergeant Ortiz, anything pop out at you on this agenda?
Nothing major. The only thing that I see is that American Legion has a alarm, a burglary alarm that continues to go off. It's been like, we have, on this one, we have, I think, two, and within the last probably 3 months, we've had like at least 4 alarms that have gone off there. And it's all for the kitchen motion alarm. So it's something either we can take care of, or I don't know how that goes. If you guys want to get a hold of them, either way is fine with me. But that as far as, like I said, with this report, there's nothing major. It's just that they seem to have some issue going on with their alarm on the kitchen door. So that'd be the only thing that we need to get a hold of them and try to get that taken care of.
All right, Sergeant Ortiz, question to ask you. It used to be if these people didn't get it taken care of, they would start getting charged for calls for service. I mean, I don't know if you want to, if city attorney's office, or if you guys can handle it at the police department and sending them a letter or speaking with them and letting them know they have to get this addressed. Whoever can answer this question.
I mean, I'd probably take it upon myself. I don't want to ticket them if it's something that we can take care of. I'll go out there myself. I'll take care of it. By the next meeting that we have, if it's something that's not addressed, then we can go to the next level. But I'll take care of it on my end to see if we can get that rectified before the next meeting.
All right, thank you much, Sergeant Ortiz. With that, I would entertain a motion to receive and file this item.
Motion to
Receive
receive
and file.
file.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you guys very much. See you in a little bit.
Thank you.